What's up, guys? I'm Cousteau. This is my friend and assistant Andrew.
Hello?
And today we're going over muzzle flashes. Usually got like two different types of guns. You got spring guns and then you got gas blowback. We'll talk about pistols here. And difference is spring guns, they're cheaper, but you have to cock every time and then fire, and it's kind of weird. But with gas blowback guns, they have a really cool feature and... Oh! Okay, today we'll be learning how to do this. This technique can also be used on other types of muzzle flashes. What's up, guys? Welcome to the first tutorial in this 6-part series. First off, we're going to be doing muzzle flashes, so I'm going to try to keep this quick as possible, so let's get right to it. So for this demonstration, I'm using my P99 spring airsoft pistol, the one that doesn't kick back or anything. I'm going to show you how to add the muzzle flash, make an artificial slide effect, and shell ejection. Alright, so in order to do this, definitely going to want to have action essentials too. It's kind of definitely needed for this tutorial and action films in general. So, alright, I have my footage here, me just shooting the gun, going pew pew. So here we are, we're going to add our muzzle flash on top from Action Essentials. I'm going to right click on this, I'm going to go to transform and flip horizontal, and then I'm going to drag this over the nozzle of my gun. Rotate it just a little bit. Alright. Now that looks pretty good, and this is okay right here. As you can see, it's a little bit over the gun, but that is nothing to worry about. Alright, so next thing, very important thing. Under mode right here, you want to change this to add, and see, that makes this look a lot better. If you don't have this, there's a little button on the toggle switches / modes, and that will either take it away or bring it up. So press add, and then we got this. Alright, so thing is, with muzzle flashes, yeah, it looks all nice and good like this, but in truth, in the daytime, muzzle flashes are going to be kind of hard to see. So we have our opacity down here, and we are going to turn this down, and I'm going to put this at around 40% opacity or so. I'm also going to keyframe by clicking on the little stopwatch, and then I am going to go 1 frame ahead with the opacity and then turn it all the way back up because this has some smoke added to it. Alright, so then there, we got our muzzle flash pretty much down. Alright, so now we got to work on the artificial slide. So what we can do here is we're going to duplicate this our footage by pressing Control D. That duplicates it. Control Shift D to split it at the cursor. And now what we're going to do, we're going to click on the footage, and we're going to select the masking tool. So then from here, we're just going to mask over this top part. Just kind of rough, it doesn't have to be perfect. Alright, and then I'm going to go right about here. Okay, we're going to click on this, and we're going to drag it backwards. So yeah, it does look a little bit awkward as of right now, but that's alright. So, looks like I got a little bit of my finger in there. Alright, so now that we've got it dragged back just a little bit, this is where the magic comes in. So we're going to click on the artificial slide. We're going to go to Effect, Blur and Sharpen, and then we're going to go Directional Blur. So now we're going to change this little dial so it's kind of parallel with this, and we're going to drag it up. Alright, and then, wow, look at that. We now have a artificial slide. So I'm probably only going to have this for one frame, so I'm going to press Control-Shift-D for this again. Delete it, so boom. Got our artificial slide effect. Let's play it through really quickly. It looks alright. Cool. So, now, next part. This is where we are going to add the shell. So, I have Action Essentials 2, and I'm going to use the 45 caliber shell effect. Just going to drag this up on top. Alright, so now I'd say this is pretty important. See how I just dragged it so now the bullet shell is kind of in line with the gun? That's very important because no shell is going to come out of a gun exactly like this. That would just be weird. So we're going to drag it over till it's kind of lined up. Alright. Now what we're going to do is we are going to scale this down. I pressed S to get the scale toggle. Okay. And I'm going to drag it down until it looks like about the bullet size. And we're just going to drag it right about here. Alright, cool. So now we're going to go into the position. We're going to click on the little stopwatch to add some keyframes. And then from here, we're going to go over, I would say, 5 frames. And we're going to drag this all the way up out of frame. Now, as you can see, we have this little kind of dot right here. This right here, this can help you bend the path of the shell. So here we are, just going to bend it just slightly. So now look it. We have our shell, and it's going to follow this path over 5 frames. So now we've got our basic shell animation part down. From here, we are going to add another directional blur effect. So we're going to go to Effect, Blur and Sharpen, Directional Blur. So I'm just going to kind of put this somewhat parallel with the path. And I'm going to drag this all the way to, I would say, let's go like 140. Alright, so we're going to have the shell be really blurry. So it blurs off frame. Kind of see it there. Alright, cool. So now, the next step to this, and I would say pretty much almost the final step, we're going to go to Effect, Color Correction, Brightness and Contrast. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to try to composite this into the background so it looks like it fits in with everything else. I'm going to turn the contrast down. That usually helps when trying to piece things together. And then I'm going to bring the brightness up. So now it looks like kind of more actually in the scene rather than you just added it on top. Alright, so finally, just as a little touch-up, little effect, see here that we have our bullet kind of over the weapon. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to click on this, click on our shell file, click on the pen tool. Then I am going to drag this over where it crosses the gun. I'm going to go to Masks and click on this part and press Subtract. So basically that just means anything inside this mask is not going to be shown, therefore it is on the top part of the slide. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the stopwatch for mask path, and I'm going to create a keyframe, and then as we go one more, I'm just going to drag this so it's not over our bullet shell anymore. And then we are pretty much done. That's all you need to do to create a nice, good muzzle flash. So one more thing though, since this is in the daytime, this isn't exactly needed. But what you can do, we're going to duplicate this footage here, Control D. I'm just going to go 1 frame. Alright, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to mask around the gun, and I'm also going to mask a bit around my hand. Just really roughly to show you what you can do. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Effect, Color Correction, Brightness, and Contrast. I'm going to bring the brightness up. And it doesn't look good right now, so then we're also going to add the effect of color balance, color correction to color balance. From here, we are going to do the mid-tone red. We're going to bring that up just a little bit. And then highlight red, we're going to bring up. Then highlight green, we're going to bring up too. So this is going to give it a bit of a yellow orangish effect. Now from here we're going to go down to mask feather. Oh, wrong one. Going to go down here to this mask in our this footage, and we're going to mask feather the mask so then it's kind of diffused. Then what we have is a glow. So as the muzzle flash goes by, there is a glow on the hand. So if we play this back, this is what it looks like. Pretty cool. Alright, and that brings this tutorial to an end. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember there are going to be 5 other parts in this 6-part tutorial series. And feel free to comment if you have any questions, and also feel free to subscribe if you want some more cool tutorials and short films. Please feel free to check out my website at CousteauChristopherVFX.com, also in the description below, where you can find lots of really cool stock footage pieces for real cheap. Alright, so please click on the next tutorial, and I won't waste your time. It's going to be a lot of fun. Alright, see you there.